Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino. We've got some bonus Squid Game coverage here. Of course, Chappell and I are covering Squid Game, the challenge, and Chappell is here with us today for a special interview. Chappell, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Feeling good and excited to be here
Yes.
talking about Squid Game: The Challenge Season 2.
Okay, and we're here with a guy who definitely kept it 100 all season long. Here he is, Mark Levy, Player 100. Mark, how are you?
I am so happy to be here. I always love seeing you guys, and I'm a huge fan of the show, so I'm really honored to be here today.
One of the faces of Squid Game, the challenge, season 2. And of course, he had such a great arc. Of course, if you have not seen all of the first week of Squid Game, the challenge, then prepare to be spoiled. But Mark, you were such a big part of the first couple episodes. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was really like one of those moments, like when you're inside of it, I was like, okay, this might be my only time ever having this opportunity as a massive fan of both Squid Game and reality TV, and I wanted to have every moment I possibly can have. And I remember I barely slept, and I was just like, okay, be the best version of yourself because my number was so memorable that I didn't want like any bad sides of me to
Good
show
draw.
because I was afraid that someone's gonna be like, oh, we have to eliminate him because he's whatever. And I'm like, I'm just gonna be nice to everyone and have the best time I possibly can have.
Yeah, it seemed like that you were having a lot of fun. And while you did not win the $4.56 million, you may have won 4.56 million hearts.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah,
You knew it?
yeah. It's. I'm very very thankful for the experience. It's been like as a fan of reality TV and like Squid Game, like I got so lucky, and I'm so thankful for the friends I've made, and for like to be able like to be in those rooms and just see it all. Like when you walk in the dorms, it's like so much bigger than it looks, and like the pentathlon room is huge. Catch was like the size of like my apartment complex. It was like everything was massive, and like walking the stairs, everything was just so amazing, and like to like live in that world, you're like, wow, this is so cool. But also, I'm in a prison. It was like I'm just so thankful for everything with like the friends I've made and the experience. It was just really cool.
Mark, why Squid Game? I know you're a big reality TV fan, but what was it about Squid Game that made you want to audition?
Well, I mean, like as I said, I'm a huge fan of the narrative version. We've talked about that before, Chappelle, like how like we both love the actual TV show, and like we're both big fans like the exciting drama. But like also, I'll be the first to admit I'm not the most athletic person. I do have anxiety, so like in my mind, as much as I love Survivor, I know I would not do good on Survivor. My fiance and I have talked about wanting to be on the circle, but that opportunity has not happened yet. We would be amazing as a duo in the circle. Like we balance each other out so well. We would catfish actually of all things because why like could be
Mark,
like
this is
yeah.
not an audition for the circle.
Yeah.
But like
Like, I think you'd
so
have to as two people, right?
exactly right. Like it's not like yeah we're two people as one, but really but as a fan like and it's that thing of like when there's 456 spots available, I feel like I can let my personality shine a little bit easier. Um, and I'm just like I submitted the request, and then like months later, I got my first call, and it was a
Yeah.
whirlwind while we were prepping to move to LA.
Mark, where are we at with the Star Wars wedding?
So there's been some movement, not much. Unfortunately, finances have been a little bit rough this year, but we're working on that. There have
Yeah.
been a
You
lot of
gotta listen, you make it work, okay? You go out into the desert, okay? And
okay,
it's like,
yeah,
we're on Tatooine,
yeah.
everybody.
I'm sure my parents will love that. They're, the whole northeastern people just melting in the desert, right? But
Hey, that's what it's like on Tatooine.
that's what I've heard. Obviously not been out there, but
We are like the two sons of Tatooine coming together in the sunset.
um, yeah. Well, so we're working at it. We're trying to make like a go. We're working on making a GoFundMe because there's been a lot of questions about that, and my fiance and I are like just like gobsmacked with the kindness that like we've received. Like people are like finding her online, be like, "Oh my God, you're Mark's fiance. We love you," and I'm like, "Oh, that's kind." So it's cool. So we're working at it. We're trying to get GoFundMe in the next few days.
Okay, let me
Um,
put you on the spot. How many Squid Game cast members are you going to have at the wedding? Because now 456 people, this is getting expensive. So now this
no,
is
I
why we
understand
need the
that.
GoFundMe.
There's one person I've straight up told her invited, and that's player 111, August. He's been my best friend since day 2 of the
we
game.
love
We know
August.
August. We love August.
Like, actually, we like August and I talk every day. There's a moment that we realized that we were basically brothers born 15 years apart. And like we literally talk to each other like we actually are family at this point. Like we are insanely close. He's been unbelievably kind to me and Rachel and my family. And it's just like he's 100% invited. There's going to be a lot of people invited, but it's that thing of like we have a lot of friends and family because we're both social creatures. And she has a huge family. My family's a lot smaller, but like we want to make sure like our wedding is as meaningful and as important as it possibly can be.
Were you surprised that your Star Wars wedding was such a big deal in your edit? I mean, I know it's something you talked about, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much your identifier.
It's weird. It's very weird because like I am a Star Wars fan. She's a bigger Star Wars fan than me, but I'm a big Star Wars fan. Like my favorite Star Wars movie is controversial. It's The Last Jedi. Like, I'll admit that's controversial, but like it's so weird because like y'all both
Did you know that's controversial, Chappell?
I don't know. I'm like, you're going to go get a tattoo in the desert. I'm still stuck on the line joke reference. So just Mark, continue, please.
Regardless, I know Rob understands how controversial Last Jedi is. But for me, it's that thing of like it feels cool, but now people are like, tell me your favorite like 8th like level deep character in Star Wars. And I'm like, well, I love Wedge Antilles because it's fun to say his name. Because Wedge Antilles is like the greatest 2 words together. But like I love Star Wars, mainly it's just the movies though, except for like episode 9 and episode 2.
Okay. So, Mark, can you tell us a little bit about your strategy going into the Squid Game, and did you have one? Because it seemed like that you were going to be very open about yourself, where we've seen other players in the game really try to keep their cards close to the vest. That's not you.
No, you know me. Like I'm that person. I'll talk to anyone. Like if you give me a reason to talk to them, I'll talk to them. My big strategy was I wanted to be myself. When I got the player 100 and I walked in, I was like, oh boy, I have to be fully myself, like 100% of the time, like full on, like put the introverted side away, which there is an introverted side, just not much. So I knew that like I had to stand out in the way I wanted to stand out. But my strategy 100% of the time was to make friends, make strong allies, build secret alliances, and also not think about the money until I got to the top 30, because at that point is when it starts feeling real. Like, of course, we're sleeping underneath a giant piggy bank filling up every day. But it's also that thing of like, it's not like there's 200 people in this room. Why like think about like trying to eliminate people? Why not make allies, make friends, like stuff like that? Like we're up all day in these rooms and we're just standing around like with nothing to do, no cell phones, no internet. We're just like, okay, let's have a conversation. And like, I made some really amazing friendships, which is part of the reason why I know I was actually in a really good spot. Personally, I feel like I was at like about 5% chance of winning the game when I got out, which might not be factually
That sounds
accurate.
high.
That's pretty high.
I think it's at 5%. Like that feels real though, because I know if I got to Mingle, I would have been safe. Like everyone wanted to work with me. I was working with a lot of people, and I felt good about my game. So my game was literally as social as humanly possible because I know like I'm not athletic. I'm not the cool guy. I'm a social guy. I'm funny. I'm silly. I'm goofy. I'm not afraid to make jokes.
Yeah. Were you surprised to watch back the episode and see anything? Like, for example, that the twins were at your neck within the first 3 seconds of the show?
Kind of, yeah. Like the funny thing is, like we were really close allies. Every morning we would talk about Marvel movies. Like they were like the coolest guys ever, and I was just like, oh, I was in danger just by being myself. But I also saved myself by being myself. So it's like, okay.
Mark, I want to talk a little bit about in Catch and how things ultimately ended up with you going out of the game. Now, we didn't really get to see about how your team ultimately put together the order of the line. Did that go the way that you wanted to in terms of where your spot was? And could you tell us how your group put that order together?
Oh, absolutely, I can. Okay, so I walk in the room and I'm immediately almost triggered because it's like the same paint scheme as my elementary school gym where my trauma started. And so I'm like, okay. But I got like friends, I got allies, and like, we start strategizing. But like you look, once you start realizing what the game is, because like you walk in like, what is this? Like, why are there dots all over the floor? Okay, there's a big black dot in the middle. I have no idea what I'm about to play. So like you walk in there and like you get everything, you find out that it's gonna be catch. And I'm not the best catcher. I'll admit that in a heartbeat. But where I put myself, I felt pretty okay. Like we didn't know what the size of the balls were or anything like that. We just knew we were playing catch. And I know like I can catch a ball relatively okay till about like 30 or 40 feet, which is where I was placed, about like 40 feet from that dot. And I felt pretty good. And then we started strategizing, and a person, player 272, Ryan, who was a soft ally for me in the game, like he was dealing a lot with the whole cookie situation, but like, you know, we got along pretty well. He turns towards me after other people are saying like, you know, I kind of like look weak. Like it's like it was really similar to what their teams were strategizing with. And then he's like, Mark, you look weak. And I'm like, and then like I felt like every eye in the whole building on me. And I literally got transcended back towards like 12-year-old Mark. And I couldn't like really breathe or shit. Like I couldn't like see straight. And like he just kept going at me and at me and at me. And I'm like, cool, I'm getting bullied again. And he has since apologized. And he apologized before we left, like while we were still in the hotels. And I have accepted it, and we are good. So please do not bully Ryan. Ryan means well. He's just another awkward misfit toy like me.
But it would be of karma. No, come on,
he does karma.
Come on, a little bit.
Karma, right? Like you see my face in the episode. Like,
all right, don't do that, people. All right,
but like, don't bully him. Like he's a good guy. It was really rough though.
Wait,
like,
if you can't listen to the podcast, or if you're just listening to the podcast, Mark is winking when he's saying that.
No, I'm not. I swear. Too much trauma in my life to ever consider being mean to someone in that regard. But like, I felt confident enough in my spot at first. If it wasn't for that, I wanted to be towards the front after that, but it did not work out that way. Everyone has their own agenda, and that's okay. But it was not the easiest experience, and it's certainly not been easy to watch. But I'm okay.
Yeah, Mark, every hero needs a villain, and 272 definitely showed up to be yours at the time. But like, you become the hero of these first two episodes.
Always
for sure.
two there are, a Jedi and a Sith, right?
Yeah, he's my Darth Maul, right? You know.
Yeah, were you surprised that maybe like the reception you've been getting? Because I've seen on Instagram that people are going up for you, Mark.
It's really nice. Like it generally is nice. Like I always I've always believed in humanity as a human being. Like because you know me, I like lead with kindness. Like I think that's like the best thing. I use the word kindness because nice is not the best word. Nice feels very superficial. I like try to go from like a true listening, like true receiving way. And I've read every comment. I've read so much because I can't put my phone down because I'm just like, I'm trying to soak it all in. And I'm just so unbelievably thankful for how people I don't know from all over the world are being so kind to me and seeing like, it's like, I've been getting a lot of videos of children crying, watching this, like parents. And like, I've been hearing a lot of stories about bullying. And it's just like, it's that nice thing to be like, okay, I do represent something that you don't see too often on reality TV. I'm the awkward 40-year-old balding, funny fat man. Like, like, and I'm fat. Like, I'm like not skinny, but I'm not fat. Like, I'm just an awkward human being, and it really warms my heart to see like kindness because like we've all seen how many people can be on with reality TV shows, and yeah, I've been getting some of that, but I don't care. Like, please don't be mean, of course, but like it's that thing of like. I'm so thankful and like I'm just like I get like really nice messages from people I've never even would have ever crossed like paths with, and like it's really moving. Like there was this really kind person that sent me a TikTok that was like 8 minutes long of them just like, and it's like a 20-year-old non-binary person, and they seem like the sweetest human being ever. Like you're loved, you're supported. I'm like, oh my god, like, and I'm the person that always supports them, so I'm just like, oh, this is so kind, you know. Like it's just I'm so thankful, you know.
Mark, was there any reaction you got from somebody that you knew of that really surprised you in terms of what you've seen on social media?
Kelly Wentworth. She sent me a DM and she's like, I was rooting for you so hard. And Kelly Wentworth is like literally one of my favorite people on social media. Y'all know how much I love seeing Juan Del Sur. So like it was like, oh my God. And like QT from the Circle also sent me some very nice messages too. So like I've been getting a lot of really nice messages from people that I love and respect. And I'm really thankful for any time that anyone wants to send me a message, preferably kindly.
Mark, what was your fiance's response to watching the episode? Because she is also a big character in your story, and I think a lot of people would love to know, how things are going in the Mark Levy household.
It was really great. Like she's been hearing me talk about this almost nonstop for the last 9 months, plus many months before with the whole process of going through the process. And she's been so unbelievably supportive and so kind. And like I was able to watch, like we had a small party in NoHo at like a house to watch it with a couple of my cast members, and we watched the first episode. And I was like holding her hand when that processing interview came up, and it felt so good because she's always been such a good rock for me and so solid and so kind and so beautiful and like the best thing ever. And emotional talking about that. And I'm just like so thankful that she's so happy that I've been able to experience this, because like she's like, you're my nerd and people see that you're an awesome person, because she knows I have confidence issues. And it's really nice.
Well, Mark, it was so fun to get to see you play. I was so happy that you got such a big role in the show, and that was so nice to see your story just resonate with so many people. Is there anything else you want people to know about your experience?
It was really cool, just like walking in there and like living that world for the length of time I was there, and making friends, and like I'm so excited to see anyone that ever watches the show or connect with me. And I'm just so thankful, like, about everything. Like, everything is just beautiful. Like the fact that I'm here talking to you guys today. You know how much I love RHAP. I've been a patron for over 5 years. I've been listening to the show since Zeke was on Survivor, because he's a friend of mine. I'm just like really moved as a reality TV super fan and as a fan of like good content to be part of this season, and so thankful to be part of the season the way I am. Like, there's some amazing people out there that got barely an edit or any edit at all. Like Julie, the beautiful, amazing woman that threw me the ball 443, is such a similar person to me. Like if I was like from Texas, I'd be so similar to her. And she's radiated kindness. And her family's been so kind, and like her daughter is like following me now and like being like, I love you. And I'm like, your mom just lost $4.56 million because of my catching abilities. And like, it's like mind blowing. And I'm just so thankful. Like, I'm like, this is like surreal for me, Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mark. Chappell, anything else you want to say?
No, Mark, I'm just genuinely proud and happy for you. I'm so glad you're enjoying your experience, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Mark, what's next for you?
I'm going to Philly for the watch party for Bryce and Wendell. Very excited about that. Very excited to meet some people. I'll be still doing my normal customer service job. If you look at me on social media, you might be able to figure out where that is. I'll say hi. People have said hi to me before. That was cool and weird. I'm on Cameo, which is the weirdest sentence I've ever made in my entire life. I'm on Cameo. People are paying me money to talk about like life and movies, and I will always talk about that. If you buy Cameo from me, it's no less than 3 minutes of me like gushing. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to soak this all up and enjoy it for all I can. And I'm just thankful. If you guys want to send me messages, I'll always respond. If you want to donate to my wedding or like whatever, like reach out to me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mark, thank you so much for making some time to talk about all this with us. Of course, Chappell and I are going to have all of our week 2 coverage on Nothing But Netflix of Squid Game, The Challenge, Season 2. So we're getting close. We're getting down to it, as we are going to find out who will win $4.56 million. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care. Have a good one. Bye. All right, Rob Cesternino back to talk with another one of our friends from the Squid Game, here with Chappell. And today we're talking with player 111. It's August Schroeder. August, how are you?
I am doing so amazing. I'm so happy. This is one of my biggest dreams come true. How are you guys? How are you guys doing?
We're doing phenomenal. Chappell, how are you?
I'm doing great. You said we were here to talk to one of our friends, and you meant literally, we know this guy.
Yes. Okay. August, I took on maybe how many seasons ago was it when we did This Week in Survivor History?
Yeah, we did it about a year ago in the next 2 weeks. We did it for season 47, week 10.
Okay. All right. So was it only a year ago?
Yep, only a year ago. So a lot has happened in the last year since you've seen me.
A lot has happened since then, but you had such a heroic arc in the Squid Game where that you were the person who ended up, you did, I would not say that you sacrificed yourself, but you put others ahead of yourself.
Yeah. So I did kind of sacrifice myself. There were some really good friends of mine in that room with me that I knew had very good stories, and they had a lot of people they had to take care of. One of them had a baby on the way. One of them was taking care of their parents. I'm 25. I have no kids at home. So I'm like, I don't need the money as much as them. So I told them, good luck. I believe in you guys. Keep fighting. And then I just yeeted myself out of the room.
Yeah. Can you talk us through the exact scenario that you were in? So how many people were in the room and what was the number that it needed to be?
So there was 11 people in the room and we needed 9 people in the room. I knew that 2 people were talking about doing rock, paper, scissors, but I'm like, there's still 1 more people that needs to leave. I was the first one in the room. I was helping do all the numbers. I was the numbers guy. I was doing all the calculations, making all the plans. But I thought, we might be able to get 1 person out of the room, but we need 2 people to leave. Otherwise, all of these amazing people are going to be eliminated. That included Steven and Deja. That included Faith and Natalie. And I'm like, these people have so much they're fighting for. I just wanted the money so I could stop working because I was tired of working 2 jobs. But they had families to take care of. And so I just
August, listen, this is me talking, okay? Forget all this other stuff. This is Chappell to August. I know you are a massive Survivor fan. Would you do something like this if you were cast on another show like Survivor?
I don't know if I would do something like this on Survivor. I'm a very emotional kind of guy, and I really do believe in prioritizing the people I care about over greed and money. But in a game like Mingle, when there's so much going on, like Survivor, 1 person goes home every night. In a game like Mingle, 6 or 7 people go home in 5 minutes, and then another 6 or 7 go home in another 5 minutes. And with that many people going home that quickly, I just couldn't, wrap my mind around me being the reason some of my friends went home. Whereas in Survivor, I could actually work towards voting them out for specific reasons.
Yeah, and just to look at it from your perspective, that if the numbers are wrong, everybody's out. So now, like 11 people are about to go home instantly. You including you, and so you make the decision, like, okay, well, listen, if I'm going to go home anyway because we can't figure this out, I might as well like help these other people who I care about go forward. And I think that's what is such a great representation of why you seem to have such a big heart.
Yeah, exactly. And like not just the 11 people in the room, there was already 5 people outside of the room. And I'm like, either way, people are going to go home. So either 16 people who I really like go home
16
right now.
people.
Yep. Or that's almost a whole cast of Survivor. That is a whole cast of Survivor.
It used to be
7 seasons. Yeah. So I'm like, I can either take all of them out with me or give some of them the chance to keep fighting. And some people in that room that I believed in showed me why I believe in them. They went, they did amazing things on the show. Some of them are finalists coming up next week fighting for the $4.56 million. So it just makes me feel happy that what I saw wasn't wrong. I saw something in them to believe in, and, I believed in them for a reason.
Do you have any regret now that you see some of the people that were in that room have made it to the final 5 that you didn't say before you left, hey, anybody, if I leave right now, if anybody wins 4.56 million, I want the 0.56. You keep the 4. I'll leave if you sign on to that.
I did say on my way out, I did say if someone wins, I want free Panda Express for a month.
Okay. That's something.
Yep.
It's better than nothing. August, it seems like you made a lot of good connections with your cast. You were one of the biggest cheerleaders for the Squid Game season 2 cast online. Tell me about that experience coming in to compete and then meeting people that seemingly changed your life.
Yeah, so I'm a big reality TV fan. I started watching Total Drama Island as a kid, saw Survivor and COVID, and since then it's just completely blossomed into this love for all things reality TV. And I never thought I would get the chance to be on a show, but now that I was on a show, these are people I know, and I'm watching it back. Even though, yes, I'm a player, I will always, always, always look at the show in the lens of a reality TV fan. I will always be a fan more than anything. And so these are people I know that I have an emotionally invested interest in. And I'm watching them be badasses on TV. I'm watching them be smart, strategic, cutthroat. And it just makes me so happy that these people I genuinely know are having this life-changing experience. And I can give a little insight behind the scenes. Like, oh yeah, this is exactly who Steven is inside and out. This is exactly how smart Deja is. This is how like strong-willed Natalie is. And it's more emotional to me because I know them for who they are and not who the edit portrays them to be.
You also had a big moment in Catch where you had to pick one person to represent you and basically bet your life in the game on. And you chose, correct me if I'm wrong, Kareem?
Yep. I chose Kareem, player 437. They didn't exactly show why, but it was a big gamble. I had heard throughout the grapevine that Kareem had been trying to get me out for the last couple of days. So I went in with this mindset that he was going after me from the get-go. So I never trusted him. He was the number one person in the dorms I didn't trust at all because I knew he was going to be, a snake in the grass, as someone called him out to be. But the way I saw it was, yes, he's coming after me, and this shows that he's going to do whatever it takes for him to survive. He'd be more than willing to maybe screw someone over to survive the game. And while that's not my gameplay, that's the gameplay I needed to ensure I would survive to the next round.
Was it the kind of thing where after you had picked him, was it the kind of thing, did it sort of create a relationship with him that was positive?
Yeah. So we started talking and I explained why, I picked him, not the part that I didn't trust him, but I see him, analyzing everything. Like if you spend 5 seconds with him, you're like, this guy is always, always, always thinking a lot more than most people realize. And we do have a very strong bond now. We talk a lot, we text a lot, and, we talk things out. But yeah, he's awesome.
Well, speaking of strong bonds, the word on the street is that you are really good friends with one of our RHAP patrons. Tell us about Mark.
Mark is one of the coolest guys I've ever met. I met him on day one. My player number, 111, was the door number to his favorite teacher in high school, like his theater class. And because of that, I love theater. He loves theater. My player number reminded him of a good friend in high school. We instantly bonded and we became super close. We both love reality TV. We love Survivor. We were both, Rob has podcast patrons. We listen to Twitch every week. We always talk about the Bryson Wynn event. So we immediately had a lot to talk about. And I wish they showed more of our bond because when Mark dropped the ball, I actually had a full-on meltdown crying for 5 to 10 minutes straight. I was inconsolable. John T and Heath had to calm me down because of how upset I was that he dropped the ball, especially after everything that happened.
Wow.
And I want to know more about the reception you've gotten from after the show. Like you said, Rob was saying, you've had a hero edit, and so has Mark. So what has it been like watching it back and then receiving so much feedback from the fans?
It's insane to think because, I've seen so many seasons. There's been a lot of people I've connected with their story. And now I'm kind of on the other end where people are DMing me, telling me their stories about, being adopted or everything they saw, being hopeful all the time. And hearing all these stories and seeing people connect with me and what I had to say is so uplifting and affirming because I've always believed if I ever, by some miracle, had a platform, I would want to speak my truth and my story because if I could help just one person, it's worth it because I'm just one person and I've been helped before. To see all these people feel that way about me, it's it makes me want to cry, thinking about it.
August, you talked about in the episode where you ended up going home that you were talking about your experience with your family and being adopted and about how that you really struggled to fit in at times. Did anything from how it was shown on Squid Game change anything in your real life relationships?
It definitely made me more open and comfortable with talking to my family about it. I was always open with talking with my mom about how I feel, but not the rest of my family. Unfortunately, we lost my mom in May. And so
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a rough time, but she was the one who convinced me to go on Squid Game. the night I got the call, I was like, hey, give me a day to think about it before I say yes, because I don't know if I want to do it. My mom told me that, if you go, you're already a winner in my eyes. So I went. But she was the only one I felt comfortable talking about that with. She's known how I felt all this time, but no one else really has. But now that it's on display and I see everyone connecting with it, I no longer have this fear that people are going to misunderstand me when I say I have a fear of being abandoned. It's helped me talk to my dad about it, my grandmom, my sister and I were both adopted. We've had a lot of good, strong conversations come from it. So it's made me more, it's like comfortable, like just being open about everything.
Wow.
You got one out of the way. You did Squid Game, but do you still have the itch to do more reality TV?
Yes, because what they didn't show is I'm very strategic. I did a chore where I got gold coins and we played a mini game to decide who in the chore room got gold coins. I purposefully lost to make sure the others got gold coins. And then I went around telling people they have gold coins, showing them the proof to convince people that they were playing hard to get people out. I put targets on people. Matt getting the doll was something I worked on all day. In fact, I was supposed to get the doll before Matt, and I was able to convince Shelly to give it to Matt instead of me because I knew it was going to be the last doll. I knew that the blowback would go on Matt, and I knew that if something went wrong, it would be on Matt and not me. So they didn't show my strategic side, but I love the strategy. I play online reality games all the time. Numbers, strategy, alliances, that is my forte. Except when it comes to Mingle, apparently.
Yeah. Well, we know that your Instagram handle famously is the Swole Survivor, and you have really done a lot to catalog, your physique and everything that you've done with that. But I know your dream is to go on Survivor. Do you think that it is still on the table to one day? Because listen, they let people from Big Brother Canada on Squid Game. Do you think that the door is open? Jeff says that he's okay with people going on the Traders now.
Yep, I do think the door is open. You very rarely see a lot of crossover from other TV shows to Survivor, but word on the street is that is more of a Jeff thing. And I'm not saying Jeff's getting old.
They let Suri on Survivor 50, and she was on the Traders.
Exactly.
And it's the same production company as Traders and the Squid Game.
Yep, Studio Lambert, amazing company. And
shout out.
Yep, I don't want to say Jeff's getting old, but he's looking at retirement age.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, that's not gonna help you.
But no, I definitely think maybe one day it might be a possibility. That will always be my dream. I mean, I started working out because of Survivor. I started watching reality TV because of Survivor. I would have never applied for Squid Game if it weren't for Survivor. So, I believe in manifesting. I believe in putting good vibes out in the world. And maybe if we're lucky, those vibes could come back. Maybe that could be me getting on Survivor. If I'm the first boot, totally worth it. But I would fight hard to be the winner.
Okay. All right. Well, August, thank you for making some time to talk with us. It was very fun to get to see you on the show. I'm happy to hear it sounds like it was a really good experience, and you really made an impact on people who watched the show with your story.
Yeah, thank you guys. This is a full moment circle coming to me. I actually just listened to your interview with, I'm not going to spoil last week's boot, but I just listened to the interview of 11th place person from Survivor 30 minutes ago. Exactly. But on Rob Has a Podcast, Twitch is coming up on that episode when I get off.
Jordan Kalish, not a numbers guy, famously.
No, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love,
if I could kick him out of the room if we do Mingle, that would be ideal. Or at least the verbal rebus.
I was about to say last week was the first time I got the verbal rebus. So first time in my life I got it.
Okay. All right, August, thank you for making time for us and really appreciated you and all the best.
Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun.
All right,
man, take care.
Bye. Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here for some more Squid Game, the challenge coverage here with Chappell. Chappell, how are you?
Rob, I'm good. I'm very happy to be here to talk about another one of these Squid Game contestants with a Squid Game contestant.
Yes, okay. We're going to talk with another one of our friends from Squid Game. You may know him as contestant 415, and it says here in my notes, today's also his wedding anniversary. It's Eric Eldredge. Eric, how are you?
I am great, Rob and Chappell. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
I'm just soaking in the squid glow that's surrounding my life right now.
Of course. We know Eric from being the person who famously told people it was his birthday, and even more famously told people that he had a baby on the way. But he's here today to announce that his fiance and him are actually with child.
Twins, actually.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you
No.
can't go backwards. You gotta just keep escalating.
Can't go backwards.
Annie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric, how did you decide, and when did you decide you were going to tell people that you were going to have a baby on Squid Game?
So I actually conceived of this fake baby with Victoria, my girlfriend, about 9 months ago. We were getting ready for Squid Game, and I am a very much a gamer. You know, I have a background in poker, and obviously I'm a huge fan. So I'm trying to find any edge possible. And when you watch season 1, you see all these players get eliminated because no one knew who they were. And that was very frustrating. I don't like luck in these games. So I thought, how can I make sure everyone knows me and likes me? I want to trick everyone into liking me. And then I have a friend named Tyler Kakuno, who in a live reality game, a fan.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, legend.
Yeah. He's a funny guy, and he had a fake 1-year-old. He made up a baby. So I basically copied him, and we decided to go with that.
Incredible.
So, yeah. Eric, you also told us on Squid Game that you have a very interesting backstory in that your father was somebody that you did not know your biological father. You have come to find out that you have well over 150 half brothers and sisters. Is this a true story?
Yeah, I enjoyed that podcast. Yeah, you know what? I would never lie to the confessional. Okay, I
don't believe you now. I don't believe you now. Rob, there's nothing this man can say right now. If he says like, no, I made up, like, no, he didn't. He definitely has all these siblings.
Understand, Chappell. We can work through this over time, but all you can do is take my word for it right now. It's funny. Some people from the show, my fellow squids, they did a little podcast together, and they were like, the weird things about Eric were actually true. He only lied about boring things, but for whatever reason, that is true. I found out when I was like 15 or 16 that there was a whole network of 2 moms, and they always told me I was conceived via sperm donor. And I'm honestly very appreciative for the unique upbringing for them, and for finding out I have this whole network of half siblings scattered all around the world and country.
Has your biological dad reached out to you after your success and notoriety on the Squid Game?
It was the other way around. I actually warned him. I said, hey, I've done this little thing, and it might get some attention. Your name's not going to be out there, but just a heads up. But he was very nice. He's been nothing but friendly and nice and helpful in finding out unexpectedly about all of us. So he's doing good. And,
do you think you might ultimately find out that you have 455 other siblings and that potentially you could have your own Squid Game?
Yeah, we've been working on this. Yeah, we gotta call the numbers, I think, and really figure out who the best of us are. I think we're about a third of the way there. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Having all those siblings has to be good practice for managing all of these personalities in the Squid Game. Because from what I can tell, y'all are pretty close afterwards. What was it like bonding with all these people in the Squid Game, especially knowing that you were lying to all of them?
That's a great question, Chappell. My approach to the game is very much I'm gonna enter the game and like have no emotions. I just don't get very affected by these things. So I wanted to avoid, if anything, being in a very clear public alliance. I kind of was a drifter, a floater. I went around and got to know everybody a little bit and asked them questions about themselves. For better or worse, I think that means I didn't end up being very close with pretty much anyone in the game. I just kind of got into little pieces here and there. So, and maybe that helped me not really get affected by Mingle, my favorite game.
So why is Mingle your favorite game?
Because, Rob, it's my favorite game because it's like Survivor voting blocks, except even more sped up. Like, we thought Survivor was getting fast in recent years. You should try playing Mingle. Okay. You're making and forming bonds and alliances and deals. And the best part is people never watched it before. So I think a lot of people really had no idea what was about to hit them in Mingle.
So you ended Mingle with your secret alliance, Melissa, and you two go into marbles. And so very emotional moment between you and your number one. And you choose this moment to reveal to Melissa hey, I have to tell you something. I don't have a kid. Why did you choose that time to tell this to Melissa, who did not receive it well?
She did not. No. Didn't go great, Rob. Didn't go great. I've had better apologies. Um, it's a complicated story, but the main reason is that Melissa and I didn't meet in Squid Game. We had known each other for years. We played a fan-made Survivor game together, and we were kind of cutthroat ride or die assassins in that game. So I knew exactly who she was going in. And I thought, you know what? The odds of me getting her to agree to a game that gives me some kind of advantage is so small. It's nil, basically. She's on high alert and was, very aware of my tricky ways. She knew about the fake birthday, just not the fake baby. She was helping me plot the fake birthday in there. So I thought I could do that. Or, yeah, that's another story. That was going to happen like seconds after they accidentally outed my Aquarius sign. But I could do that, or I could have our story come full circle. I wanted it to air out on the show. I wanted it to be part of the show rather than me tell her after, which I was going to have to do anyway. So I said, you know what, let's just blow everything up and face the music in marbles. I can't think of a better setting.
Yeah, especially because only one of you going to come out alive. So when if you tell her your secret and you win, she's dead and she can't tell anybody. And then
Exactly.
if you lose, she goes on, but you're dead, and so it doesn't even matter anymore. So yeah, I wonder what the reception is going to be like, Eric. Though, because from what I could tell, people enjoyed you in the first drop, but I don't know the way Melissa took you in your secret, not child. I don't know, Eric. Are the fans clamoring for more Eric? I heard there's a vote coming up.
No, I don't think so. No, I think I know the answer to that. No, Chappell, it was a fun ride. I had a really fun ride. I got a solid week of people actually being amused by my antics and my gameplay. And I don't blame anyone for being upset by it. I asked, a few very close confidants. I was like, am I crossing a line doing this before I enter the game? I really didn't think like I was, but obviously I don't have kids, and I fully understand that people really were not a fan of it. I hope that wasn't crossing a line, but clearly it was for Melissa. And the good news is I think now she didn't spend any time crying over me after the game. If anything, maybe I helped her rage build and really get focused.
Eric, I know somebody else in your inner circle is BB26's Joseph Rodriguez. Did he give you any advice before the Squid Game?
Yeah, for those who don't know, I helped run his horrible social media campaign in BB26. He gave me some great advice. Anything he said about getting screen time, I went to the opposite of that. But as far as actually getting ready for the game and what to expect, he taught me a lot about how to be hated. He was like, listen, man, if you're anything like me, this is not going to go well for you on the internet. So here's what I did. If you haven't seen it, he actually put out a great video in all seriousness about the effects of going on a show and coming off it, which I recommend you watching on his YouTube channel if you haven't yet. But he gave me great advice.
Eric, you haven't been hated, right?
No, I'm kidding. Only by Melissa and a few others from the show. But the fan reception has been shockingly positive. I feel like the luckiest guy in the world. I was lucky to get on. I was lucky to win the coin flip to get into the game. And I'm very lucky that people are mostly amused. And seriously, no one should ever feel bad for me, ever.
Are you a trailblazer, Eric? Do you feel like next season people are going to come in with fake storylines and doing a lot of outlandish things to get more screen time so that they don't feel like they just got lost in the shuffle of the 456 contestants?
Okay, I definitely agree with the second half. I think as far as a trailblazer, I think Johnny Fairplay and you, Rob, are trailblazers, but Johnny Fairplay with the bringing outside information into the game, Matt Hoffman, these are people who inspired me. I'm sure there's a lot more. But I do think that this being only season 2, most players were not thinking about the game in this way, much like how players weren't thinking of the game in Big Brother, the way Dr. Will introduced everyone to thinking about it. So I'm not comparing myself to him. I'm just saying I played in a very different way than anyone had seen before. So I do think that people will be a little bit more creative in season 3.
Did you tell
they do.
The producers in casting that you were planning to make up these stories going in, or is this something that you just do on your own? You don't have to clear that.
Well, Rob, I didn't. I'm delusionally and narcissistic enough to want to go on Squid Game, so I did want to be able to watch myself back, and for that reason, I did give them a heads up. And the response was in very polite British terms, basically like, great, thanks, loser. Talk to me if you're still here in like 3 days. And nothing came of it. And then when I actually did it, then they're like, okay, all right, I guess we'll talk about this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to let them in on the secret so they don't just edit you out of the show completely. Because
I thought it'd be nice to give them a heads up. And sorry to interrupt, but I just remembered a fun fact. Apparently, I heard producers were like checking their notes. They're like, wait a minute, like I didn't think it was anyone's birthday. Did we miss someone's birthday? And when I found that out, I was like, guys, I tried to tell you this. I told you I was going to do this. I don't know where the message got lost. Anyway,
you could have got a cake. I think your strategy of yeah, there you go. I think your strategy of you know, having a at least a child really does go a long way. Honestly, we will see in these episodes that there are times where people are like, well, she has a kid, so you know, like we let her do the thing. You know, it's like, okay, well, for us childless people, it's not, you know, it's not the most fair. So if you have to come in and have a fake child, I don't have a big issue with it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Eric, is there anything else you want to let people know about your time on Squid Game, the challenge?
Oh my God. I mean, I just had an absolute blast. You know, I just started trying out TikTok. I don't even know what my name is on there, but you can find me. If you have any questions, I love answering questions because I'm a huge nerd of these shows. If you're interested in reality TV game mechanics, I just wrote a thesis about that. So if you're freaky like me about this kind of thing, let me know. But really, I just want to say I'm grateful for the chance to play. I'm very lucky. And Rob, I'm very disappointed because about 10 years ago, I became a patron. You were doing a little promotion where you could request a message written on a signed autograph, and I had you write, "I love you, Eric," and I was going to show it to you when I got on the show sometime. And I can't do that because I'm at a hotel in Philadelphia now. But just know I'm a big fan of yours, and I appreciate you having me.
Appreciate it, Eric. Where can people read your thesis?
Nowhere yet. I'm finalizing it. I'm a little slow.
What a tease. Is it real? Is this another lie?
Thesis. Yeah, his
thesis. It's so unpolished, but you can find me on Twitter at Eric ELDR, ERIC. I did post a summary, like a 5 or 6 page summary there. So I'll go and pin that, or you can scroll down if I forget.
Would love to check it out. Eric, thanks for having some fun with us here today, and all the best outside Squid Game, okay?
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Bye. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.